Grayson Hale did not believe in chaos. He believed in schedules, routes, backup routes. Then he was assigned to protect Vivian Laurent. Vivian believed in none of those things. She was late. Of course she was late. Grayson stood in the hotel lobby, earpiece in, posture rigid, scanning every reflection in the marble walls. A voice behind him said, "Are you the tall, broody one they sent?" He turned. Vivian Laurent, international fashion designer, media darling, walking headline, was balancing a coffee cup, sunglasses, and her phone all at once. "You're 12 minutes late," he said. She gasped softly. "You timed me?" "Yes." "That's either impressive or concerning. It's professional." She looked him up and down. "You look like you iron your socks." "I don't." "But you would." He didn't respond. She smiled brightly. "Relax, Mr. Hale, Grayson Hale." "Well, Mr. Hale, try not to look like you're escorting a criminal. I'm escorting a liability." Her eyebrows shot up. "Excuse me?" "You attract attention. Attention attracts risk." She leaned closer. "You could have just said, 'I'm famous.' You're difficult." "That too." Vivian insisted on visiting a crowded street market in Milan. "It's inspiring," she said. "It's uncontrolled," Grayson replied. "It's colorful. It's congested. It's beautiful. It's unsecured." She stopped walking and turned to him. "Do you ever say anything that isn't a warning?" "Yes." "Like what?" "Move." She rolled her eyes but stepped aside as a delivery cart rushed past. "See?" he added calmly. She muttered something in French under her breath. He stayed close as she wandered through fabric stalls, touching everything. "Don't drift," he warned. "I'm right here." "You're 3 steps ahead." "That's not drifting, that's leading." "You're not leading." She turned suddenly, nearly colliding with him. "I lead entire fashion houses, Mr. Hale." "You are not leading this security detail." "Oh, I like that tone," she teased, very commanding. "Stay beside me." She studied him for a moment, then deliberately took his arm. "Fine, I'll stay beside you." His body went still. "You don't have to hold my arm," he said evenly. "You said stay beside you." "You're enjoying this." "A little." It happened fast. A scooter sped through the narrow market lane, too close, too reckless. Vivian stepped forward without looking. Grayson reacted instantly, pulling her back against him just as the scooter brushed past. The air shifted. Her back was against his chest. His arm was firm around her waist. For a second, neither of them moved. "That," he said quietly near her ear, "is why I give instructions." Her heartbeat was racing. "So dramatic," she whispered, but her voice wasn't steady. "You could have been hit." "But I wasn't." "Because I was paying attention." She slowly turned in his hold. "I know." Their faces were too close. Her teasing faded slightly. "You're always this serious?" she asked softly. "Yes." "Why?" "Because hesitation gets people hurt." She studied him carefully now, less playful. "And what gets you hurt?" He released her gently. "That's not relevant." She didn't push further, but something in her expression shifted. Later that evening, she found him standing rigidly on the hotel balcony, scanning the street below. "You never turn off," she observed. "No." "Not even for dinner?" "No." "Not even for sleep?" "I rotate shifts." She leaned against the railing. "You know, you don't have to guard the moon. It's not coming for me." "That's not funny." "It was a little funny." He didn't smile. She sighed softly. "Grayson." "Yes." "Do you think I'm reckless?" "Yes." She laughed. "At least you're honest." "You step into streets without looking." "I was distracted." "You walk ahead in crowds." "I get excited." "You test boundaries." She looked at him directly. "Only yours." Silence. "Why?" he asked before he could stop himself. Her expression softened. "Because you act like you're made of stone," she said, "and I don't believe that." He looked back at the streetlights. "You shouldn't try to prove it." "Why not?" "Because if I stop being stone," she stepped closer. "Yes, I become vulnerable." She smiled faintly. "You already are." His jaw tightened. "Incorrect. You caught me like I weighed nothing. That was instinct. You look at me like I matter." He didn't answer. She moved closer still. "Tell me something that isn't a warning," she whispered. He hesitated. Then quietly, "You matter." Her breath caught. "That wasn't so hard," she said softly. "It was." She reached up and adjusted his tie gently. "You don't have to carry the entire world," she murmured. "I'm not carrying the world." "Just me?" "Yes." There was no hesitation in that answer. Her teasing smile faded into something warmer. "That's a heavy job," she said. "I don't mind." She studied him for a long moment. "Grace and Hale," she said quietly. "Are you ever going to admit you like me?" "I do not." She raised an eyebrow. He exhaled slowly. She grinned. "That's the most romantic thing you've said all day." It wasn't romantic. It absolutely was. She stepped closer, rising slightly on her toes. "If I kissed you right now," she whispered, "would that violate protocol?" "Yes." She paused. "Would you stop me?" He looked down at her. Professional, measured, controlled, and completely undone. "Yes," he said. She waited. He didn't move away. Her lips brushed his, light, testing. He inhaled sharply but didn't pull back. When she kissed him again, properly this time, his hand came to her waist automatically. When they separated, both slightly breathless, she smiled triumphantly. "You didn't stop me." His voice was low. "I'm revising protocol." She laughed softly. "Good," she whispered, "because I'm not firing you." I wasn't concerned. You should be. He almost smiled. Almost. Instead, he rested his forehead briefly against hers. "Stay behind me in crowds," he murmured. "Bossy. Safe." She intertwined her fingers with his. "Okay," she said gently. "Safe." And for the first time, Grayson Hale allowed himself to admit something he'd been resisting since the lobby 12 minutes late. Protecting Vivian Laurent wasn't just his assignment. It was personal. His POV. I should have expected this. From the moment I stepped into Vivian's life, I knew chaos would follow. Not the kind I could anticipate. Not the kind I could plan for. No, this was personal. Every reckless smile, every impulsive step into danger, every time she pushed against boundaries I spent years reinforcing, it wasn't just stress on my job. It was affecting me, and I hated that. It was a Friday evening. I had checked every exit, every camera feed, every point of possible risk. I thought she was secure. Then I turned, and she wasn't there. My stomach dropped. No, not again. I scanned the lounge. Nothing. Then I heard a soft laugh from the rooftop terrace. I moved faster than I had in months, heart pounding, every instinct screaming. And there she was, leaning against the railing, wind tossing her hair, utterly unconcerned. "Vivian," I said, keeping my voice low, steady. She looked at me, eyes sparkling. I needed fresh air. "Not like this," I said. "You could fall." "I won't." "You always say that. And you always look ready to dive after me." I didn't answer immediately. I shouldn't. But she leaned closer, brushing a strand of hair from my face. My pulse spiked. "You're so serious," she whispered. "Yes. And I like it." I froze, because liking her was the last thing I was supposed to allow myself. Later that week, paparazzi photos hit the tabloids. Grayson Hale, secret romance with Vivian Laurent. I saw the headlines before she did. My hands clenched. She walked into the studio, looking casual, smiling, oblivious. "They're saying things," she said lightly. "They're lying," I snapped. She raised an eyebrow. "You're angry?" "Yes." "At them?" "No." "At them, yes, and at me, partially, and," I exhaled, my voice dropping, "at the situation." She studied me carefully. "You love control." "Yes." "And this? This is chaos." She smiled softly. "Then maybe you like a little chaos." I didn't answer. Because I did. That night, we ended up on the balcony again. The city lights stretched endlessly below. She leaned against the railing. I remained a step back. Professional, alert, controlled. "You know," she said softly, "I don't mind risk." "I do." "You care too much." "I do." She stepped closer. "Then admit it." I faltered. For a moment, I almost fell into the old training. Detach, observe, calculate. But something in her gaze stopped me. "You matter, Grayson," she whispered. It hit me like a punch. "Yes," I admitted quietly, "you matter." She smiled faintly. "Finally. You test every rule I have." "And you like it," she countered. I exhaled, letting tension slip for the first time. "I do." Her lips were inches from mine. I shouldn't. I knew the protocol, the rules, the professionalism. I didn't care. I closed the distance. The first touch was tentative, testing, like a spark igniting. Then she deepened it. My hand went to her waist automatically. Instinct, protection, desire, all combined. When we finally pulled back, my forehead rested against hers. "You're impossible," I murmured. "So are you," she said, smiling. "And I like you anyway," I admitted. Her eyes softened. "Then maybe chaos isn't so bad." I smiled faintly. "Not when it's you." I had spent years guarding people from the world. But with Vivian, I realized something. I wasn't guarding her from danger anymore. I was choosing to be with her. And that was riskier than anything I had ever faced. Because this was my heart on the line. And for once, I didn't want to pull back. I wanted the chaos. I wanted the challenge. I wanted her. And I would protect her, not just because it's my job, but because she's mine. It never stops. The way she moves, the way she teases, the way she thinks rules exist for everyone else but her. I should be exasperated. I should be annoyed. I am. But the truth is, I'm hooked. Completely. And that scares me more than any threat I've ever faced. It started as a routine check. She wanted to see a local artisan market. I said no. She went anyway. Of course. I found her crouched by a stall, examining tiny leather handbags like a child in a candy store. "You're supposed to stay close," I barked quietly. "I am close," she said sweetly, looking up at me with those impossible green eyes. "3 stalls away isn't close," I corrected, my tone sharper than intended. She laughed, a low, musical laugh that made my chest tighten. "You're like a hawk." "I'm supposed to be. You could vanish in a crowd." "I like the idea of vanishing," she said, brushing her hand over a pile of fabrics. I clenched my jaw. "Do not test me." "Oh, I am testing you," she admitted, grinning. "You can't hide that you care." I exhaled slowly, because she was right. Later that day, I found her on the hotel rooftop, again. I should have yelled. I should have dragged her inside. I didn't, because standing there, looking at her against the skyline, made the city feel like it had shrunk. "You're reckless," I said quietly. "And you're dramatic," she countered. "I'm concerned for your safety. And I'm not a child." "I know." but you're stubborn." She laughed softly. "I like that about you." My chest tightened. "You should not." "Should not what?" "You should not like that I care so much." Her expression softened. "Then don't care so much." I shook my head. "Impossible." She stepped closer. My instincts screamed danger, but something else whispered, "Stay." "You're not just my bodyguard, are you?" she asked quietly. "No," I admitted. "Not anymore."
Her eyes searched mine. "What are you then?" I hesitated, then said the only thing that felt true. "I'm yours." Her smile was quiet, intimate, victorious. Finally. That night, I couldn't sleep. I watched her from the balcony, bathed in city lights. She sensed me. "Grayson," she murmured. "I can't stop thinking," I admitted. "About?" "You. About how reckless you are. About how impossible you make my life." "Good things?" she teased. I shook my head. "Mostly terrifying, but good too, I think." She laughed softly. "You're softening." "I'm not," I said firmly. "I'm aware." "And aware of me," she whispered. "Yes," I admitted, almost too quickly. "You can't stop caring," she said. "No," I said. "I won't." She leaned closer. "Then maybe chaos isn't so bad." "No," I said quietly. "Not when it's you." Her hand found mine. Light, teasing, testing. I didn't pull away. I shouldn't have. I cupped her face and kissed her. Soft at first, careful, then deeper, more certain, because I realized something. Protecting her isn't enough anymore. I want her.
Not as a client, not as an assignment, as Vivian. She pulled back slightly, resting her forehead against mine. "You're impossible," she murmured. "So are you," I said honestly. Her lips curved into a faint smile. "Good. Then we match." And for the first time, I didn't feel like I was standing on a ledge, guarding someone from falling. I felt like I was standing beside someone I would follow anywhere. Thanks for listening. Like and subscribe for more.